All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Wild Josh, and I'm joined by Kyle, Chase, and Ezra. And with what we just had, some sad news that broke recently about the passing of the actor Chadwick Boseman. The Geeks thought it would be a good idea to sit down and discuss just Chadwick Boseman and what he's brought to the entertainment industry and to the world, and also what it could mean for the future of Marvel's Black Panther. Now, let's get geeky. So, I don't know about you guys. I was introduced to his work through 42, which is one of my all-time favorite sports movies, maybe even one of my all-time favorite movies ever. It's probably up there in the movies I've watched the most, because when digital movies first started coming out, it was one of the first ones I bought, and that had a digital code. So anytime I was like on a flight or on a long drive or anywhere, I would just be like, oh, what do I have? Oh, I'm gonna watch 42. So I've seen that movie probably 15 times.
Wow.
If not more.
Wow.
And I love it. Like it's one of those movies I can watch a million times and it does not bore me.
Did he play? Was he the main character?
He was Jackie Robinson. Yeah.
Oh. I haven't.
Which I know you're not a baseball player fan, but 42 was
not a baseball player.
Was Jackie Robinson's number, so that's why 42 is the name of the movie, and he was the first black baseball player, because baseball had been segregated up to that point. So his story is extremely important to the sports world. So, anyways, that was my first introduction to him. I don't know if you guys were introduced to him in a different way, if there was another thing you saw that he was in.
First thing I ever saw him in was Black Panther.
Same.
Which is probably for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Probably the first movie for me was 42, but I know he was also in Draft Day, which my wife loves.
Oh, okay. He was in that? I didn't realize he was in that.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually never seen that movie.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was he like the player that they were following on Draft Day?
So they were following a GM on Draft Day, and he was one of the players that was being considered for their first round pick.
Okay. But yeah, so he was just, from everything I saw him in 42, I really liked him. I was excited when I heard that he was going to be Black Panther. The fit seemed right for me. He was in Marshall, which was good.
He was in Marshall?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Marshall,
that's the first
the Marshall. What's Thurgood story? Not Marshall, like the football Marshall.
Wait a second.
Not football Marshall?
Not football Marshall.
Okay.
Right, because that was We Are Marshall, and that was Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so anyways,
what I was
thinking.
I liked
I'm
him
like, okay, maybe I watched him before Black Panther then, but I've never seen.
I liked him in all those roles, and I just was excited to see more from him. And I'm just sad that that's it. We're not going to see more from him. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to bring up about his career or anything like that.
I mean, he seemed, at least to me, I'm very limited on what I know of actors and all that, but he seemed like a really good actor. It takes a special person to like make that character feel like a character rather than like you're acting someone. I think like Tom Hanks is probably the best at that of any actor, but he was King T'Challa. Like, there was no question in my mind that that's what that character was supposed to be. He just played him so well. So.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what's funny? I just pulled up his IMDb because I was kind of curious. He played a lot of bit roles in TV series up until 42. It seems like that was like his big breakout role, but he was in the TV show Fringe, which I watched every Fringe episode. So apparently, I was introduced to him in 2011. I didn't even realize it or didn't
Wow.
put it together that he was in that, and he was just in a single role there.
Yeah,
But,
I know. I was trying to get pictures of him in because he said he was in Law and Order and ER.
Yeah,
So I was trying to figure out when and how old he was.
it looks like he was
When he was
just
in
in
that.
an episode of ER in 2008,
Yeah,
and Law and Order is the same thing in 2004.
but again, that's more little bit roles that you're talking about.
Yeah, right. But yeah, after 42, he was in 42 Draft Day, Get On Up, which was the James Brown story. So he just started continuing being in things. Yeah, he was in Marshall. That was in 2017. Thurgood Marshall is who he played. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then
and
just,
everything I've been. Oh, sorry.
I was just
What's
gonna say
that?
the one side thing as a note to his acting is that I know that he was very much into the like I don't want like charity scene, but like
Mhm.
there's tons of pictures of him visiting kids in hospitals and all that kind of stuff. And then you find out that he was in those hospitals with this big smile on his face trying to comfort these kids, in the meanwhile knowing in the back of his own mind what he was going through, and like nobody else knew it at the time, and he still was making other people a priority in his life. And to me that was just insane. That's a really awesome person to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
what
sorry.
Marvel wants out of their actors is to do
Mhm.
stuff like that, use their role as a superhero to do things in real life that is going to positively affect people. So obviously they picked someone who is really fit that role that they wanted.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I mean. Obviously, we didn't know him personally, but it seems like so many people who did know him personally throughout Hollywood said that he was as much of a superhero off the screen as he was on the screen, and that's a kind of cool thing when someone who has as much success as he did has the ability to still empathize with the common people that are going through
Yeah.
tough stuff, like kids in hospitals and things like that, and not just be like, I don't need to do that. I have enough money. I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. There's too many actors in Hollywood and stuff that they don't care about anyone but themselves. So it's nice to see that with him. So we talked about. I mean, not everyone. I think pretty much anyone who heard and is a fan of any of his work was surprised and shocked by the news. I heard about an interview he did. I can't remember exactly how long ago, but they were talking about a few of his roles. Let me look and see because it was like crazy what he did. He played T'Challa, the Black Panther. I think this is going back to when he played him in Captain America. Yeah, so in Captain America, he played Black Panther. Then he went in between and played a character. I think it was in this message from the King, which I'm not 100% sure of what that one's about. But he had to he bulked up basically, got really fit for Black Panther, and then went the complete opposite for a role, and then went back for Black Panther the movie. And they were interviewing him about that and saying that must have been crazy, having to do that. And he's like, yeah, you have no idea. Basically what he said. And then they're trying to get him to say, and he's like, one day maybe I'll tell you everything, but you have no idea. So not only did he do that, but he was fighting stage 3 cancer at the same time.
Yep. Yeah,
Do
so
we know
he was
how
filming
long
movies.
Yeah.
It was 4 years, they said.
4 years
Okay.
is how
He
long
was
he was.
filming movies in
Crazy.
between chemo treatments, basically.
Yeah.
So, and anybody who's known someone with cancer that goes through chemo, they'll tell you that it just wipes them out.
Yeah.
And he was somehow able to build up the energy to go on set and record these movies and do it with such an attitude that nobody knew what was going on.
Maybe that's kind of what he meant by someday I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
obviously we didn't
100%.
know back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So you figure 4 years puts him in 2016 somewhere,
Hmm.
and that's like when he was doing That was when he was doing Civil War, Marshall, all that stuff. Message from the King.
Damn.
So yeah, he was right in the middle. He was of these huge roles. I mean, that's going to be such devastating to find out you got this role of Black Panther, and then you have stage 3 cancer. Like there's going to be like such a high and such a low,
Hmm.
all in a really short period of time. It's going to be tough. But so, what does this mean? And not to diminish or like like we're not trying to diminish anything with Chadwick's passing or anything like that. We're saddened by that, but it makes us wonder what Marvel will do with the role of Black Panther now.
Hmm.
And we don't mean any disrespect to him or his
Yeah.
family.
One thing I had read said that because of what the Black Panther movie meant for the black community and for bringing about social change, everyone said that that was one of the big reasons why Chadwick Boseman signed on to that film, is he knew the importance of it.
Mhm.
And they said that they fully believe that he would want the role to be recast because of the impact that that has on the community.
Yeah, you're probably right. My personal feeling, and maybe it's because of the time and how close we are to his passing, is I'd hate to see someone else cast as Black Panther.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
just giving it to someone else, like almost like trying to say like what they did with Hulk, right? Like and that wasn't because
Hulk
of a
or
passing.
Rhodey.
That wasn't because of a passing. It was because
Yeah.
of contract dispute. But it had been an actor, and then they went with a different actor, and they just acted like it didn't happen. The same thing with Rhodey, yeah, from Iron Man, right? I want to if they do something, it would be it would have to be like they would explain why T'Challa is not the Black Panther anymore and someone else is. But I'd like to see some time pass before they jump into something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what they'll do. I'm sure
Mhm.
they're thinking about it already because someone needs to play that role for the business sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
sure they'll wait a while before they announce
yeah.
anything.
And it's funny to me because like if you go back to some of our older episodes, we talked about Aladdin, and when Robert Williams passed away, and I was very
Did you
resistant to
say
the
Robert
idea.
Williams?
Did I? Yes, which is a basketball player, Robin Williams. Um, when Robin Williams passed away, I was very resistant to the idea of someone coming in and playing the genie because in my mind, the only genie was the Robin Williams genie.
Right. But what are they going to
So
do? Have no genie?
exactly.
No.
They'll do something, and it's kind of funny because for me with Star Wars, I feel differently. Whereas, like I know Leia was such an important part, but I'm like, well, they can do stuff with CG and stuff like that. I don't know why it's different for me in my mind. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want them to do that with Chadwick Boseman. Like, just do some CG thing and be
Yeah.
like, oh,
No.
like, I don't.
No.
And I
Yeah.
think it does depend. It's weird because I've got mixed feelings about it. I mean, I think it's disrespectful, but at the same time, it really depends on what the family says because that's what these companies like Disney and whatever, they reach out to the families and say, would you mind if we did this?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, it's a little weird, but obviously some people are okay with it, and they put a lot of time and energy into making these movies, and it's another way of how we can remember them after, is but it's still weird to
Yeah.
put a like someone's face on another
Yeah.
actor. Like that's
Yeah.
weird.
I think too, like when I think about the examples we just talked about with like Carrie Fisher, and then Robin Williams and Chadwick Boseman.
Mhm.
Robin Williams and Chadwick Boseman, their passings were like unexpected, right?
Mm.
Before their time, kind of stuff. And not that Carrie Fisher
Which
wasn't.
Carrie
Carrie
Fisher
Fisher was
wasn't
younger, but
dead.
she had lived. She was in a coma for a period of time before she
Oh.
passed, and she had lived a really rough life.
Well, that
and,
was more like
and-
a de-aging. I was thinking more of like what they did for Tarkin.
which is like a complete CG.
Well, because he was already dead at that point, and they asked his family, "Can we use his likeness?"
Yeah.
So
Well, they did
that's
the same thing with Leia
yeah, it probably
in
did.
what's the last one? Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And their family was okay with it, and actually her daughter was in the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Oh, I guess you're right. Some of those scenes, because I guess in my mind I just thought all of those scenes were filmed before she had died.
some of them were, but not
Okay.
all of them.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, I was thinking more about Tarkin because at that point, I don't remember the actor's name, but he had already
Yeah,
died.
he had been
Long past,
gone
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay, so back to this Black Panther, and I know you guys have some ideas. So let's go to you guys. Chase, do you want to talk about what your
Yeah,
idea is?
so I think that my biggest idea I had is that you can't replace Black Panther as a character for a couple reasons. One, I think it's disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman and his family to just kind of scrap that idea. And I think it's disrespectful to the fans too, in a sense. Um, so I think their kind of best course of action, and in the idea of the social justice change that they wanted to see, um, is if you have Shuri kind of become the next Iron Man, in the fact that we've seen her, she's a genius. She uses all kinds of builds all kind of Wakandan tech, and we know that the heart-shaped herb has all been burned by Warmonger, whatever. What was his face? Killmonger?
Which one?
Killmonger.
Which movie?
Killmonger.
Black
Yeah,
Panther.
Killmonger.
Black
Yeah.
Panther.
So he burnt all of
Warmonger
that.
was from the first Iron Man, right? Or
Yeah,
something?
he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
The,
Killmonger. You're right.
Yeah,
Warmonger
yeah.
was the Iron Man.
They're
Yep.
the Mongers. They're too similar.
Yeah.
But so he burned all of the heart-shaped herb. They only saved the one that they gave to T'Challa. So if you kind of have Shuri, fill in the Iron Man and Black Panther role, where she builds her superpower with a suit kind of thing, I think that'd be really cool, showing a strong woman lead and a strong black lead, a strong black woman lead. I think that'd be big for that franchise, and I think I don't know. I think that'd be a cool idea of kind of working a new character in without ruining everything.
I like that idea of Shuri. She was a cool character, and I'd like actually to know more about her.
Yeah, and I think that you can do a lot more character development with her if you put her into the main scene. Now, her father has died. Her brother, however they want to explain King T'Challa's passing, but I don't know if you have her kind of take on the queen role for Wakanda, or if she just becomes the Black Panther. However they want to deal with that, but I think that she would make a good Black Panther.
And I think so. Like I'm kind of on board with that a little bit. I don't know. It's tough. I think from a pure like story standpoint, if the Black Panther was to die, they would need to have a new king. And the king and the Black Panther role is kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it? To a degree.
Yeah.
So, but I don't see Shuri as
Queen material.
yeah, and I think in the movies itself, she said that that's not really what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And not saying that she couldn't,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's something that she wants to do.
Mhm.
So I wonder if they would try to find someone more fit to like, or someone who wanted to rule instead.
Go back
like-
to what the Jabara tribe.
Yeah, so I don't know. And could they introduce a new Black Panther that to take his place instead? I don't know.
I still feel
Could-
like you have the
well,
issue
it
of
would
how
have
do
to
they
be
get the
like a
Black Panther
family
powers
member?
though?
They the same way they gave T'Challa the powers.
But that herb has been destroyed.
Oh, you're
Hmm.
right.
That's what I was saying with Killmonger. He burnt all of it so that way nobody could challenge his power. That was why I
Well,
forget the
someone
girl's name.
had
She snuck in and stole the last one.
Someone
Yeah.
had a supply somewhere.
I don't like
Multiverse.
that. Yeah.
You don't like retconning? I know.
Yeah.
Guys, there is no retconning with the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean,
And we are getting multiverse because that's coming in.
Mhm.
could be.
It is coming, right? Isn't that the name of the
Yeah.
next Doctor Strange?
Yep. Sentinels of the Multiverse. Yep. So it could be they could get that
It's not
power
Sentinels of the
Definitely not
multiverse.
Sentinels of the multiverse.
That's a
That's something
game.
different. What
It
am
is Doctor Strange
And the something of the
something
multiverse.
of the multiverse. I'm gonna look it up now. but
The
you guys-
multiverse of madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a game. I've played that game.
Sentinels of the Multiverse is a game.
That-
It's a card game,
All right.
card based like deck builder.
Cool.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Something about
Sentinels of
multiverses.
the multiverse.
I think we're moving on to Kyle and his multiverse theory.
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
Kyle, use your multiverse and get to the theory.
I like how disappointed Josh is.
Use your
I'm not
multiverse
disappointed.
and
I
get to
don't
the
know why
theory.
this would even be offensive at all. My only thought was that if they use multiverse science, they can have they can have Michael B. Jordan return, who played Killmonger in the first movie, and he could become the Black Panther. But
Like they got him before he got like all jaded, and I'm
So-
keep seeing the show notes and
so you're that's really in a box, right?
Mhm.
Where we'd have to come up with some alternate. So we'd have to get him before he became Killmonger. No. He is Black Panther, just in another universe, like in the universe
okay.
where his dad never left,
Yeah.
and like he stayed in Wakanda, or where he is actually T'Challa. He just looks different
right.
because it's parallel. It's a infinite number of
multiverse.
parallel.
Yeah, well,
universes
infinite
for really
number
anything.
of parallel universes is an infinite number of possibilities. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
you could do it that way. I think I might just prefer Shuri taking on that mantle. She's done it in the comics.
And
Um,
and maybe have someone who is the other lady that names. You know who I'm thinking of? Maybe she could be the queen,
oh
right?
yeah, the lady that's bald.
Because she seems like she does.
Oh, Okoye?
Yeah, Okoye. There you go.
that's
she
not how that
seemed-
works.
No.
Why not?
Because
She
she's
can
head
handle
of the
the
King's Guard, but
blood.
she's not part of the royal family.
Well, yeah. So like, she can handle the business matters through Siri as like it,
as like an
Siri.
advisor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying
'cause
Shuri kind of has the role and is like a front, and then
Yeah.
lets everything run through her, and she just gets to sit there and fight crime as the Black Panther.
yeah.
So I want to bring up something that kind of stems off Kyle's thing.
Kyle doesn't like it.
Kyle's leaving.
Kyle got up and left.
Kyle.
Go
Kyle
ahead.
just quit the podcast.
Josh, he was so offended by my idea.
Kyle, so I just thought this was interesting based on your idea that there could be that you get Michael B. Jordan's character from a different universe and he's the Black Panther. Did you know that Chadwick Boseman played a character in All My Children? And
No?
his character's name was Reggie Porter Montgomery. That's not really that important, but they started asking him to do stuff with his character that he didn't really like. He didn't like the direction of the character, and he felt like they were being very stereotypical. So he left the role. And you know who got the role after he left?
Michael B.
Oh,
Jordan.
no.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan. So it wouldn't be the first time that Michael B. Jordan followed Chadwick Boseman in a role. But it's kind of interesting little side fact.
That is interesting.
So, well, I mean, there are some things that they could do. I definitely think that the Shuri thing would be okay. If they did dive into the multiverse, I guess we'd have to wait and see what they do with it when Doctor Strange comes out, because I feel like that's where they're really introducing it. Then maybe they could do something there. But either way, I think it was a huge loss for Marvel to lose Chadwick Boseman. I mean, he is the guy you want on the face of your franchise.
Yep.
So now, what did you think? What do you think they could do? What was your favorite role that Chadwick Boseman played? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and Wakanda forever.
Vontae Mac, no matter what.